Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. It's Hyner week. It's Hyner week.
Do you see that it goes live, or is it you always look for me to say live?
I see that it goes live on the app, and I do not rely on you for very much.
Well, I'm the button pusher of go live, so I was just curious if you actually saw it.
I do.
I'll continue to give you hints though, like, hey, we're live now. That way we're not sitting here talking about gibberish when we're not live. When we're live, you know.
I appreciate that. The pre-show and the post-show, I think, would be fascinating for people to hear because it's pretty much this. It's not much different.
It'd be fascinating because it's the same thing.
Mm-hmm. You would think it would be more interesting. It's not.
No, it really isn't.
No.
Happy Hyner week.
Happy Hyner week.
I shaved mine for the show in case it happens to slip out.
What? Your Hyner?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's ready to go, just so you know.
Great. Mm-hmm. I'm excited for that.
All polished up.
Okay. Waxed.
Yeah. How is the Grayce?
I'm good. Thank you for asking about my weekend. I spent most of the weekend packing for my adventure on the Horseshoe Trail. And
back up. See, I see what you did there. That was a cute little dig. And most of the time I have to do that to you because you forget about my weekend. What you didn't realize was I care mostly about you as a person first, and then what you do on the weekend. So you basically just, I don't even know what the saying is, ate dirt or something because you were in the wrong. I deserve an apology because I care about you as the human.
I think I just proved that I actually pay attention to you part of the time when we're live.
Whatever. I don't care.
So I spent my weekend packing. Jason and I did a little bit of hiking, and that was mostly it. I did some running with Gina.
Wait, I thought you were already packed. There's
so much.
Pre-pack weight was already weighed, and then you had to.
Yeah. It's a big process. So I had to purchase all the things, lay it all out on my dining room table, pack everything to see what my weight was. But then I bought some bear boxes. I did not have bear boxes previously, but I'm being a good trail person. And so I have to pack the bear boxes, and then I have to charge all my things. Like there's a lot to do. And my prep for this, because it's self-supported, and I don't always have access to water. Like I have frequent water sources, but there are some sections where if I don't filter water, I'm going to go like 15 miles without water. So I have to sit down and plan everything out. Like there's a lot to do.
Kiss, Grayce, kiss. Keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah. Okay.
No, I'm sure there's a lot to do. Are you done doing all the lots of things to do?
I have a couple more things to do. I have part of it has to do with logistics, like getting a ride to the beginning, getting somebody to pick me up at the end. You know, when you're going supported, you have people with you the whole time. But when you go self-supported, you have to like make sure somebody's there to get you from the trail. So I have some little things like that I still have to figure out. So I do have a couple extra things to do, but I'm mostly done.
All right. I got a question for you about your trip thing coming up, but let's start the show first.
I got to hear about your weekend first.
Can we start the show?
Like we can start. Okay, hold on. Number 1, start the show. Number 2, Eric's weekend. Number 3, whatever dumb question you want to ask. Number 4, Hyner.
Okay.
Go.
Ready?
Yep.
All right. Hold on. I'm not ready. All right. Now I'm ready. Grayce, the Hyner Trail Challenge is this Saturday. And although many souls will suffer, it's meant to be a ton of fun. And the after party, just wait till you get done. Now let's talk about the biggest trail weekend of the year on episode 161. I'm Eric, Idiot Runner Kosek.
And I'm Grayce, Hot Pants Langheine. Eric is all business in the front of the pack, and I am all about the party in the back.
That's right, business up front and party in the back. Together, we are the Running Mullet.
And we are going to talk about every aspect of running, the podium to the DNF and everything in between.
If you are a runner, this show is for you. Now sit back, get out your foam roller, and enjoy the party. I gotta say, that was one of the smoothest intro rhymes I've had. It just felt good. It felt really good. It was a longer one. It had a lot of spots I could screw up, and it just
I listened to part of it.
Yeah. That's nice.
I did.
All right. Moving on.
How was your weekend?
My weekend was fine. Gosh. I ran, so that's always good.
That's great.
Yeah, body's coming around slowly but surely. Getting a little fitness back, but still lacking, but we're getting there. It's getting there.
Good.
Yeah. Did a little trout fishing. That was nice. Yeah. Had Easter at Becky's parents' house, their Easter dinner, a week later, but delicious.
Yeah.
Yep. Good weekend. Today is warm as all get out. It's windy, but it's warm.
Fabulous.
Speaking of warm, it looks like this coming Saturday is going to be very toasty.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
So my question before I forget.
Yeah.
Self-supported is what you're doing.
Yes, correct.
Are you allowed to post on, talk with people and everything when you are not on the trail at night because you're not allowed to be on the trail at night?
What? Wait, say that. Am I allowed to post?
Are you allowed? No, are you allowed to receive support?
Oh, no.
So the clock's still ticking at night when you have to leave the trail and go to your room. So support, like even if you like a self-support or unsupported FKT, you aren't even technically allowed to acknowledge or see anybody on the trail. Like it's best for people you might know to just stay off the trail because their being there, their presence gives you support.
Yeah.
So you are going black from the moment you start till the moment you finish.
In terms of seeing people, yes. Seeing people I know, yes. In terms of posting on Facebook and stuff like that, I'm not. And that's not the case for unsupported either. Like you can post on Facebook, you can call people.
I wonder why. That was my question.
I'm not.
I'm sorry, but that's support. I'm not a stickler about it. I don't really care, but to me, that 100% is support. Like, especially for something like this. Like, I like that you're doing it right and you're getting off the trail like you're supposed to and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. That's great. But you're getting uplifted.
Yeah.
I'm just being devil's advocate here, but you're getting uplifted in the evening at night.
It is a critique of both the self-supported and the unsupported fashion. And I think it's a good critique. Frankly, I don't go dark, but I do limit my interaction. So there are some people who will post pretty frequently and they go on Facebook Live and all that stuff. I go fairly dark during the day. I check in at night and then that's pretty much it. So I don't have a lot of interaction because I feel the same way. I feel like it's support. And I want to feel good about my finish and feel like I did it the right way. But it's not against the rules. No. More than anything, I know that there's people out there who are wanting to know if I'm okay because I am out there by myself and I'm not in the mountains in the middle of nowhere, but I am going through like people's yards and there are loose dogs and there's other dangers when you are in a rural area like this. So more than anything, I'm checking in so that people know that I'm okay. But I do use my Garmin InReach Mini, and I push a button every once in a while that tells Jason that I'm okay. So that's good.
But unsupported would that technically not, even though no one would know you're using your phone, it's not.
Oh, you can use your phone for unsupported too. You can be on your phone the whole time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Again, it is a critique of both the self-supported and the unsupported. I will say that for myself, my first attempt, I was on Facebook a little more often because I was sharing my adventure or whatever. And frankly, I find that it takes up too much of my time. And I'm at risk of tripping over something because I'm trying to do it while I'm moving. Like for the most part, I'm trying to manage my time very, very closely in terms of not going too fast, not going too slow. I have a specific time that I have to be done. And I really don't have time in between there to like do a bunch of posts and have phone calls and all that stuff, So for me, it's more about managing my time. But yeah, you can. Now there are people out there who, Erica Lubera is a great example. Like she mostly goes dark. Almost exclusively goes dark. Like she has like one or two people who she checks in with. Jesse being one of them. I think Bob's pretty similar. He checks in with a couple of people and he shares his tracker with some people so you can follow him. But he pretty much goes dark too. But yeah, it is allowed to get onto social media. And some people do, some people don't.
Well, I mean, FKT is fastest known time, and you should be moving the fastest that you can because that's the whole spirit.
Exactly.
Why is the FKT? So using your phone at all seems kind of stupid to me. But
that's how I feel about it. I feel like it's kind of a waste of my time to constantly be like, I'll tell people how it went afterwards, rather than during it.
Huh. Anyway, okay, we can move on.
Okay.
It is Hyner weekend is upon us. The official start of spring and summer trail racing season. This Saturday. It's biggest trail party on the East Coast, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I'd like to see one come close. I don't really know if there's any that do come close as far as numbers go.
Yeah.
We have the 50. There's a 50K and a 25K. The 50K has 546 runners, and the 25K has 1,189 runners
on one single track route.
Yeah, so it's going to be pretty crazy.
Yeah, it is. It's a big field, and that is part of the uniqueness. It's part of what makes Hyner great. For those of you who are unfamiliar with Hyner, it is a race that is in central Pennsylvania. It's called Hyner because it's in a town called Hyner. So Hyner, Hyner, 25K and 50K. And that's right. There's about 1,600 runners. Now the 50K people do split off and then they come back to the 25K route. 25K is how many feet a gain? 4,000? Something like that?
I didn't look it up. I'm not positive.
Yeah, I haven't looked in a while. Somebody will put it in the comments eventually. Maybe 4,000, 4,500 feet a gain, and 50K, I think, is around 6,000 feet a gain. 6,500. So it's lots of climbing within central Pennsylvania. It is has some technical sections, but some of these climbs are the terrain is such that it is runnable for people who have the fitness to run up them. And it can get quite competitive. So the front of the pack usually has a lot of strong runners on the men's and women's side. And also this race has a very generous cutoff for the 25K, meaning that people who want to hike the whole time can also participate. It's really a front of the pack, back of the pack race.
That is correct, Grayce.
Huge party at the end. Big old party.
And at the beginning, too.
And the night before.
Yes, it is a very competitive race. The times that the front runners put up are sometimes not believable for 50K. They're that fast, especially with that much gain. But yeah, so anybody who's anybody, kind of, if they kind of at some point in their life they're gonna want to come test themselves at Hyner to see where they stack up against the best of the best.
That's right.
And that's exciting to me. I like seeing the competition and seeing these best people. It's not just one or two. Normally, your top 10, like to be in top 10, is almost just as good as winning it because of the fields that are put out there, male and female.
Yeah.
So it's a competition for sure. But yeah, the weather is going to be insanely warm. It's very unfortunate that it wasn't on Sunday, because it looks like the bottom drops out a little bit come Sunday.
Yeah.
But whatever. Everybody's got to suffer the same.
Yeah. This happens every year. I think the past few years, the first really hot weekend was Hyner weekend. And sometimes you get a little bit of rain sprinkled in there. So after you bake in the sun, you might get a little bit of a drizzle. I don't think that's going to happen this weekend. I think it's going to be hot. And I think there's some people who are going to have to adjust their expectations because of that, or they're going to be hurting at the end.
The beautiful thing, the most important thing, and the good news is spectators such as myself will be very comfortable. It doesn't look like there's any rain coming. It looks like a beautiful day, and I'll be comfortable there and not having to worry about getting damp or rained on or
That's
chilly.
what's important. That's what's important.
While those others are out doing that crazy running thing.
Yeah. And I think one of the things to remember about this, if you're running Hyner this weekend, is yes, it's a hot weekend. Yes, you're used to hot weekends, but remember the leaves have not grown in yet. So it is hot and there's not a lot of tree cover, not like there is in July, so expect to bake.
Yeah. I mean, the biggest thing is it's the first, everybody's been training through winter and early spring, and Hyner hits you smack dab in the face if it's a warm one, because it's literally the first time your body is gone long and hard when it's hot. And you can see, like, Hyner's a difficult race, but it's not one on a good temperature day that you really should see. I mean, in general, I'd say you'd see a high percentage finish rate, but when it's warm, those souls are just dying out there. Yeah.
Yeah. Cause I think a lot of people have expectations for Hyner, and expectations are fun. But sometimes they got to change when you see what the weather's like.
Yep. So going over the things that we've gone over for several years already, I don't think we should take this horse and beat it too far into the ground, but some things that Hyner.
I love beating horses, though.
I know you do.
Just punch them right in the face.
Rather leave them be. But the first climb right off the bat after the bridge is a doozy, and I think that leads back towards what you just said. Your excited for the biggest trail race of the year and ready to see what your training's done. And that hill is long enough and steep enough that it will affect the rest of your race if you're not careful.
Yep.
You won't recover at the top, just like any other hill, even if you go out hard. Like it will. I truly believe it can affect the rest of your race if you don't watch your heart rate a little bit. Kind of not saying take it easy, but just be mindful of it.
Yeah.
And then the last hill, SOB hill, is the last big hill of the race. Same thing, but in a different way. If you can get to the top of that and still have any I don't know, I forget what mile marker these are at, but I'm going to say 25 or 26, I think, is the top of SOB.
Okay.
5 miles left, maybe 4 miles, 6 miles. I don't know. Right around there. If you can get to the top of SOB and get around that busy aid station, you have nothing but runnable miles and a super long descent at the end. But if you're destroyed,
They moved that aid station.
Where's it at now?
It's a little bit further down from SOB. It's not at the very top like it usually is at SOB.
Still busy because the 25Kers meet up at that point, and it's if you can manage, if you're running for a specific time and to do your best, if you can manage to stock up at the previous aid station to skip that one, whatever it may be, do it, because you're going to be in a line there a lot of the times at least. But yeah, after that, if you have legs left, that's where you're going to pass a lot of people because it's a death march, but it's flat and downhill.
Yep. Absolutely. So
it's just easy. I mean, it's only 20 miles in between, 22 miles in between.
Yeah, it's not bad.
No.
There's plenty of it. Plenty of it is runnable for the front and the back of the pack. I think it's hyped up a lot, as it should be, because it's an awesome race, but it's very doable. It's not like it has a high DNF rate or anything like that. It's got a high finish rate. It's very doable. We'll be all right. So what are you, being at the front of the pack, and both of us, we both probably have athletes at the front and the back of the pack, right?
Yeah, I would say that's an accurate statement.
Yeah.
I have one Keith Query that is deciding on race day to probably drop down to the 25K. So, but other than that, I have a bunch of athletes doing the 50K.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. So we've probably got athletes both at least in the front and not in the front. There's the front of the pack, and then there's kind of everybody else, Mm-hmm. So what advice do you have for the front of the pack?
To win.
Or at least to be in top 10.
Yeah. No, that's my advice, is like, don't let me down.
To win. Win it.
No. It would be the same thing. I mean, we always talk about the bridge, and it's important to get out.
Talk about it again.
The bridge is like, basically it's a mile till you get to the trail. You might as well call it a mile. And if you're in the front, you have legs anyway. So that mile is going to be marathon pace mile, if not faster, to stay up with the front of the pack, get your place within your cute little group that you're going to be with probably for the rest of the race. And if you're anywhere behind that, you got to be careful not to get stuck at the funnel of the single track trail when it comes off the road. I've heard horror stories after horror stories of that point in the race, especially from first time runners. You don't have to be that far back to get stuck where there's so many people that come up on that single track trail from the road. They're fast people still up there, but it gets to a point where you get jumbled in. You have to stop and wait for a second, and this and that. And that's when panic sets in. That's when the heart rate skyrockets. And then you have 1,000-foot climb ahead of you. I don't know what Hyner View climb the numbers are for Hyner climb.
It's around there, yeah.
It's a long one. It's a steep one. So if you get negative mindset at that point, you're you're screwed. So my recommendation maybe be to, if you can come Friday night, drive that section of bridge if you haven't seen it before, and drive to where it goes to the trail to see what I'm talking about. But when you have 500 runners in the 50K and over 1,000 in the 25K, it becomes messy right there.
Yeah. Yep.
So, and then the other advice I would say is, we all know that the 50Kers meet back up with the 25Kers later in the race.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter where you're at in the pack on either side. Please make sure you're respectful. Make sure you're respectful of fast runners coming up behind you, and make sure you're respectful when you're passing the 25Kers that might be hiking or not as fast as you.
Yeah.
It is what it is. It kind of is a part of the race. It's some might not like it, some might not mind it, but it is part of the race, and it doesn't really affect your race if you treat it the right way. So yeah,
that's great advice. Yeah, I think that's spot on, and I think that you take all of that, and it's you can take that scenario, and I would change my advice a little bit for the back of the pack, but because of that. So I would say, because we know that's happening at the front of the pack, if you know you're going to be even kind of mid-pack, back of the pack, I would not try to run my fastest mile at 5K pace, because you're going to have so many people trying to pass you. And, you know, if you start at your start line, the very beginning, it's on the road and it's a mile to get to the trailhead. So my 5K race pace is probably a 9:30 mile, maybe if I'm lucky on a good day. It's more like a 10-minute mile. So I'm running a 10-minute mile, my 5K race pace. If I try to run a 9:30, I'm totally gassed by the time I get to the trailhead. And there's other people who are running a 7-minute mile and they're not gassed, right? I get to the trailhead, and guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to stand there and I'm going to wait in a crowd to even get onto the trail. So what did I just do? I just like skyrocketed and went too fast for nothing. So instead of that, I would go out at a reasonable pace, maybe a nice little 11:30 mile. I'm not going to hike all the way. If you are a hiker, then hike the whole thing. Have at it. Actually, I did that one year. Lacey and I hiked the entire race, and it was awesome. But we put ourselves in the right place for that, right? So you put yourself about where you think you're going to be on the trail. And it's not that you're holding people back, but, you know, you be realistic about what your pace is. And so once you hit that trail, it's a drop off on one side and it's a steep hill on the other, and it's very difficult to get around people. So if you're like me and you're running a 10-minute mile for your 5K race pace, let's just not go that pace in the first mile, because you're just going to stand there and wait anyway, right? So you get to that first climb, and the first climb is called Humble Hill for a reason, because it has a false summit. Right? So we're going to go at a reasonable pace up that first hill. We're going to go at a reasonable pace. We're not going to go too hard, because it's very long, and it's a long race, where you're doing the 25K or the 50K. When you're at the back of the pack, both of those can be a very long day. So at the back of the pack and you're doing the 25K, you can still be out there for 6 hours, maybe. That's a long day. So we want to save that effort. Couple other tips that I have for middle, back of the pack. Some of these might even apply to the front of the pack. I don't recommend wearing headphones for this one, because it's just too congested. I've seen people too many times wear headphones, and then somebody's trying to get around them and they keep saying on your left, and then the other person doesn't hear them. It's just a congested race. Everybody's trying to have fun. So I would leave the music at home. And there's other races where I do listen to music, because I'm by myself anyway. It's fine. But this one, I don't recommend headphones for anybody. And then also the aid stations. The aid stations, you mentioned this a little bit. It can get very congested, which means you go to the aid station, you grab your water, you step away so that other people can get in there. and try to just be mindful of the crowd that's around you. And it's not that I think when you're in middle, back of the pack, just if you're in the 25K, just have a good time, like when you're in that conga line and you have to stop at a dead stop, get to know the people in front of you and the people behind you, make some new friends. Keep your expectations that you are there to have a good time, and don't look at your watch and what your pace is, because it's going to be okay. So I think people in the middle, back of the pack who try to have pace goals, I think that's asking a lot out of this race because it's just too congested for that. I think a better goal is to see how many friends you can make. That's a pretty good goal. And to just lean into it and just be mindful of the people around you, right? Because again, you can take up space. That's okay. But try not to like take up space. You know what I mean? So those are my tips for the middle, back of the pack. Lean into it, make friends, have fun. Don't look at your watch. Don't look at your pace. You can cover up that watch. Just put some tape right over it so that you're more thinking about, did I drink enough water? Did I eat enough? Do I have enough calories in me? Those things are way more important than your finish time. Because I tell you what, most everybody finishes. And you want to do that healthy and uninjured, right?
It's all great advice. Now, I wonder if any single person that's running Hyner is actually going to listen to this show.
I think all of them are. I think all 1,600 of them are going to listen to this episode, and they're going to listen to us, and they're going to have such a good day.
How about this? If you come to me at Hyner, not you, I know you're not going to be there, but if you were there, I wouldn't want you to come to me. I will. If anybody comes to me and just says the words, "I listened," I'll give you a big surprise.
That's creepy. I love it. And if you don't want to talk to Eric because he's creepy, and you see me between now and then, or between now and next week, not while I'm out on the trail, because please don't bother me if I'm out on the horseshoe trail, and you whisper into my ear, "I listened," I will give you a nice little surprise.
Yeah, I listened is the key words.
I listened.
You don't have to say anything to me the rest of the day. You don't even have to look me in the eye. Just stare at the ground and say, "I listened," and then you'll get something.
I can't wait to see how this goes. It's going to be a little creepy. I'm here for it.
I don't expect I'm curious to see how many listen this week. That's why
we're going to have a lot. It's going to be a lot. I'm excited. So, I think we gave out some good tips for the front, the middle, and the back of the pack. I say, it's just another mountain. Don't be intimidated. Don't be do you want to talk about your photos? Talk about taking photos?
Wait, what?
When you're out on the course.
Taking photos?
Yeah.
Why on earth would you take photos in a race?
You go like this. Boop, boop. You take your little mental photo.
There is a time and a place for taking photos, and it is not when you're racing.
No, I'm talking about mental photos.
Oh, you can take all of them.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I misunderstood.
Yeah, you get to the top and you look at the view and you go like this. And you
now that's one place you do want to turn your cute little head to the left and look at the view, because it will be majestic, I dare say. It's a view worth not missing. You'll be hearing the cheering. It might be your first time up there. It doesn't matter. You'll be dead and out of breath and hate everything about life at that point. Yeah. But if you just turn and look, it'll be worth it. And it's definitely worth a click of the old memory phone.
Yep. So if you're listening to the podcast and you can't see us, you kind of raise up your fingers like you're holding a camera. And then you take your little pointer finger and you just press it down and you pretend like you're taking a photo. And that's your little mental picture. He's doing selfies right now. And
But if you do that, and
it works.
Picture worth taking, and you literally don't have a phone or a camera to take the picture, and you do that, it will be ingrained in your memory. It's a beautiful thing.
It is. And there's also going to be a couple of photographers on the course. And if you go the night before, grab a couple photos the night before or the day after or something like that. You know, that's the time to take photos or to use your little mental photos. The other thing is, I think this is a celebration of having legs that work, a heart that works, being alive. If it's your first time there going up the first climb, you will see Carl's bell, which gets put up there just for Hyner. And Carl was an amazing trail steward, and he helped build some of the trails over at Hyner. And a great volunteer, great runner, just overall amazing person. And he did pass away. But if you ring that bell, then maybe he'll hear it. So that's a nice thing to do.
Yep.
So that's what the bell is for, just so you know.
Yep.
It's a nice moment to ring the bell on your way up. And then not long after that, there's photographers and you can get the best photo. Everybody's posting their Hyner photos on Facebook. I'm not posting mine because I'm not going this year, but maybe next year.
All right, Grayce. Well, to all the runners and athletes that are showing up at Hyner on Saturday, best of luck to you. Enjoy the day. You won't forget it. And that's all I got.
It's going to be so much fun. Have so much fun out there. Tell Eric he's pretty and funny and smart and that you love the podcast so that he will keep doing it with me.
If you say all that stuff, it's meaningless. You have to say, I listened.
Yeah. And tell him I listened and give him a hug, maybe a noogie. He could use a noogie from at least Schaefer.
That's right.
So do all of those things and I'll miss you guys. I'll be thinking about you.
Best of luck on your fun journey, Grayce. We can't wait to hear all about it. Don't screw it up.
Hey, thanks. So I won't be here next Monday. We'll have, you still have a week to figure out who's going to be on the podcast with you. And then I'll be back the week after. And we're going to have Amy from Baker Trail is going to be on the podcast. I'm very excited to talk to her.
Yes, next week we will be talking post Hyner stuff, I'm sure, for the most part.
Yeah.
All right, Grayce, let's end this.
Yeah, let's end this. Thanks everybody for listening. Best of luck at Hyner. Best of luck in life. You should probably stretch more. Like post run.
You definitely need to stretch more post run.
Yeah, you probably should. Thanks everybody for listening. You're awesome. Bye.